Yes, I slurp my koffie, los my af. Is baie koud en is baie warm, die koffie. Is baie soet. Anyway, let's try this again. Episode 13. Let's go.
Red lip.
Okay, so, hallo almal. Ek voel very fancy met my desk en alles. Ek voel amper soos ek moet, welcome to SABC News. But yeah, vir ons begin gou a few things. Yes, I am alone, so ek kan net gou daai address. So obviously, if you've seen my Instagram and all of those things, then you would see that the Matilda tour is now finished, which means Londi and I are not together actually at all because we didn't even live in the same, part of South Africa. Yeah, but things have got even more complicated because of reasons and of wonderful opportunities. And I'm so, so, so happy for Londi and her husband. And I wish them nothing but the best. They are absolutely going to do amazing things. I'm not going to share a lot of information because I know she's a private person and it's not my right and it's not our right. Even though ek weet dan jou kop gaan hy colored auntie, the colored auntie part of you goes, ja, my is bus settle weet wat aangaan. No. We don't have to know what's going on all the time. And yeah, I feel, we must respect people's boundaries and we must respect the stuff that someone wants to share with us or not. So yeah, you're gonna see me alone for the foreseeable future. Who knows? Maybe Londi and I, somewhere down the road again, we will, do the podcast together, or she'll come on as a guest if she doesn't come on again permanently with me. But yeah, don't worry, we have discussed it, and she knows I'm gonna continue the podcast without her for the foreseeable future. I'm gonna have a couple of guests on, not every week. So ek hoop ek is nie te boring by myself nie, maar julle moet my laat weet. But yeah, if you want to come join me. Oh! It's very rude. Is jy nou klaar? Okay, thank you. So yeah, she said encore. Anyway, if you want to come and join me, there's not always going to be a table. The table is just here for al die eet goed wat daar staan. And I'm obviously, not in the place I usually am. That's no nie 'n kooi nie, so I'm not in a hotel, whatever. But yeah, if you want to come and join me on the podcast, you don't have to have social media. You don't have to have anything. As jy net 'n klompie stront wil kom praat, if you want to come and be part of the kak praat, commenteer, girl, let me know in the comments or send me a message and then let's try to make a plan. And the second thing, so I am not wearing red lipstick. Pause gou. Thing on my teeth. Let me just check. Because I don't have someone. I don't have Londi to tell me that I've got lipstick on my teeth. Okay. Alright. I think I'm ready to go now that I've actually got my red lipstick on. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yes, the second thing is I hope the sound is on because I sat here in a very, very nice pink looking outfit yesterday met my swa oorbelle and I was ready to serve the girls, give life, and it was nice and light outside and I was like, whoop, 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 let's go. I think it's when I got up to go fetch the other snacks from the fridge, the mic disconnected. Or the mic was pop. I think the mic was pop. So that was my fault. So I couldn't be upset at anything or anyone besides myself. So ek het die mics gecharge overnight. So I'm hoping it's still working. Want ek weet nie of ek die nou 'n derde keer wil doen nie. But yeah, a whole 1 hour 38 minutes and 12 seconds. The first 10 minutes there was sound and then the rest of it there was nothing. I was just going, and you can hear nothing because the thing is literally like connected to the phone. So what I get is what I get. So I'm like truly hoping that the sound is still there. Yellow time fast. Otherwise, I'm gonna leave the episode as is and yellow with my lip read. You know what I'm saying? No, I won't do that. But I learned my lesson. The other episode was very long, so I will try and speed things along. Then, number 3, alles die snacks that you see in front of me is a mixture of South African snacks and things and Zimbabwean snacks. So the reason being is that Londi and I still wanted to shoot the episode together where we had, she brought snacks from Zimbabwe and I brought snacks from, well, Cape Town, from South Africa, and we were going to like sort of compare the two because just by looking at the chip packets alone, we don't have certain things in South Africa that they have in Zimbabwe. And she brought me all of her favorites. So that was very nice because, Londi loves a chip. Per me eating chips in the episode. So yeah, I'm very excited for these. Yeah, so I mean, obviously you can see they've been opened because I shot the episode yesterday, but then dololo sound. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna do this all again. I didn't try everything. I tried like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Zimbabwean snacks, and then I tried to find like the equivalent of the snack of the South African snack. Yeah, but there's like mostly chips, but I have like sweets and other things also that's like very South African. So I want to try those as well, or at least mention them. So what I did is while I did the episode, I ate the snacks and then like sort of ranked them. So yeah, and I must say, just from like because I've already now tried them, but Zimbabwe knows how to make chips. Is what I'm saying. But South Africa also knows how to make chips. Africa, Africa as a whole knows how to make snacks and food. You know what I'm saying? We remain well fed. Anyway, so first thing on the list is I've got an article that I actually shared on my Instagram a couple of days ago. Yeah, I shared it a couple of days ago. And I didn't really read the article. I just read the heading and I was like, bet, I agree, share. So there's been a whole poop storm because someone is coming for a lady who wrote the article in Forbes. Her name is Virgie Tovar. And at the bottom of it, it says, is one of the nation's leading experts on weight bias. So everyone was upset with Forbes, right? So Forbes, because of the heading of the thing and what it implies and all of those things, because we've been new. So it's a Bridgerton article. Also, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Okay, luister, disclaimer, né? Sit gou, watch me quickly. Kyk gou my disclaimer. I've asked a lot of people to be on the podcast and they were like, no, I can't because I don't watch Bridgerton. We don't just talk about Bridgerton because it just so happened to be that the podcast started in April and Bridgerton befuck. Bridgerton bedawn at April because it came out May and June. So it happened to line up. But I try to like make a lot of other things today so you can sort of get a peek of what my interests are and what will be discussed in the episodes. But even if something is not my interest, we are here to learn, girl. We remain lifelong students. Facts. So let's get to the article. The title is Bridgerton. Are we still not ready for a mixed weight romance on screen? So yeah, yesterday when I read this for the first time, I was shook because I went mixed weight. It's giving mixed race. It's giving very mixed race. Like it's trying to be like a euphemism, of the word. A fat person and a thin person, but more specifically, a plus size, rounder woman with like a skinny, built man. Anyway, so here we go. Let's read. Let's get into it. Okay. I have seen so much discourse circulating online about Bridgerton, and the relationship between Penelope and Colin begins a post by Chicago-based plus-size vintage and modern clothing retailer Lovesick Plus. An unfortunate post on Threads said this would never happen and was so unrealistic. I have my own feelings on the show and characters, but one thing I know for 100% certainty is that fat people have and always will be loved and lusted after. The post references the primary plotline for season 3 of Shonda Rhimes' wildly popular Netflix series, Bridgerton. The mixed weight romance between Penelope Featherington and Colin defies romance plotline convention. And that is very true because you don't see much of like on screen where it's a bigger female and a smaller male most of the time. And this is the post I shared actually. They were like, yeah, mixed weight is a problem when the lady is bigger. But if you take note of what has actually been on our TVs for like a long time, if the man's always been bigger. Like you think of, I think they put Family Guy on there, where the husband is, fat and the wife is thin. I don't know what other shows they put on there, but yes, the man is always bigger and the lady is smaller. So I'm gonna go look for it and put it here so you can see what I'm referring to. She goes on to say it does more than that, though. This love story creates friction around the socially acceptable limits of desire and desirability, doing what Rhymes does best, unveiling unsettling truths about human relationships. In this case, the truth is that thin people desire, love, and marry people who are larger than they are all of the time. Um, I think it's what you expose yourself to. Because as someone who's, plus size, as someone who's bigger, I follow a lot of plus size girlies on Instagram. And like a lot of them have, their husbands range from like height to shape to whatever. So I expose myself to, it's not normal. It's not all the time that you see like a small thin woman with a big person, or the person you're going out must be bigger than you. Like 90% of the time someone's gonna be taller than you, someone's gonna be bigger than you or whatever, but sometimes people marry people who are on the same size. So I personally think it's what you expose yourself to. Unfortunately, in mainstream media, you most of the time you see, it's like this thin, slender girl with like this. Even the guy sometimes is slender. Yeah, that is a problem. Where I'm now thinking, and I've seen like buff guys, I've seen built guys, but they're tall. I've seen short guys, but they're built. I've seen tall guys, but they're skinny. So I've seen all of that, but the females have always like remained consistently thinner. But I do think it's what you expose yourself to also, because people like Michelle Buteau, the comedian actress, she has a wonderful show called Survival of the Thickest. Please go watch it. It's so funny. It's so funny. I laughed. I canned myself from beginning to end. It's amazing. So yeah, I mean, not, I wouldn't say all of the time. So like wording is everything. But I would say, unfortunately, factually, most of the time. Then there's an incredible picture of Nicola. Oh my God, how can you even? How? She's serving the dress, serving princess realness. The hair is giving, face is giving, leg is giving, shoes is giving, the Palestine badge giving. She just keeps on giving. Okay, let's go on. Already, the show has broken records and offered refreshingly new takes on the period piece genre. And this season of Bridgerton delivers yet again. The internet has been in rare form, however, when it comes to the union of Penelope and Colin, affectionately nicknamed Pollen, in a recent article penned by Zoe Strumpel, Equity, for The Spectator, titled Bridgerton's Big Fantasy.
Bitch, please.
Hmm? Okay, let's read on. Strimple declares that Cochrane is not hot and proceeds to fat shame her. Let's just breathe for 5 seconds. In and out. Okay. I'm calm. I'm fine. Okay. Strimple writes. Coughlin is an actress of great value and might be adored, but she is simply not plausible as the friend who would catch the handsome, rich aristocrat Colin Bridgerton's eye in that way. It's important to examine Strimple's writing because it offers a glimpse into the nuanced beliefs and rules that are part of fat phobia, because it's fat phobia that's at the core of why Colin has created such a tizzy. Yes. Unfortunately, so I actually don't think that people should have a problem with this Forbes lady because, and I'll tell you why. It's because I read the article already. When I tried to record the previous one without audio, I read the article, and at the end, I was like, okay, people need to read properly first of all because she's quoting a lot. So she's quoting the people who are the problem, like this Zoe Shrimplele lady. Um, who literally called Coughlin not hot. Do you see this lady? I literally just scrolled up and she's wearing that red blazer thing. Face card never declines. And you want to call her not hot. Anyway, they say beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and this beholder is blind as hell. Anyway, let's not take our anger out on Susan. And proceeds to fat shame her. Now you see, we don't like someone that's not a girl's girl. You know what I'm saying? It's not cute. Not plausible as the friend who would catch the handsome. So this is my problem: is people have the opportunity to put thicker female characters in those lead roles, but they don't, because I think they know that sometimes they will like overshadow, maybe the male lead or something like that. Because we've been made fun of like basically your whole life for your weight, you sort of develop a personality. You know what I'm saying? Not that some people or other people don't have one, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. The girls that get it. But because I mean, people love Nicola. They loved her in the PR run, and it was so successful. She was everything. The people were left like they left wanting more. She was incredible, and she's funny as hell, and she's gorgeous and everything. So I'm just like, people don't want to accept that she's that whole package. But whenever you see in romantic movies, just go watch. Most of the time, the friend who, if the friend is plus size in the movie, the friend is usually like the funny one, and but can never get guys or whatever, because whatever. And they try and do something with it, but they fail. But the girlies who are in those roles usually, eat and leave no crumbs. So I think that's why they get rid of them also very quickly. And that's my 5 cents. But okay, not fat phobia creating a tizzy. Unfortunately, life is how it is. And fat phobia still exists. And it definitely caused a buzz because she's thicker, but it was usually for a good reason. Because I always go, one day if I have a daughter and she sees there's a girl, and if she's maybe a bit thicker, there's a girl that looks like me on the screen. So I go, just shut up, man, leave it alone. Let us have something, because for every 100 rom-coms where there's a thin, beautiful girl, there's like one rom-com that has a curvier girl that is also beautiful, slaying the house down, boots. But I mean, for every 100 coms with a thin girl, there's one maybe, for a bigger girl. So I go, just let us have something. And then she goes on to literally put in probably a retraction from an excerpt from Zoe, Susan, whatever. She says, but reader, she is not hot and there's no escaping it, as I was reminded recently when she graced Harper's Bazaar's cover in a fabulous outfit that still did not change her not hotness. She's not shapely, which can work as sexy even in Hollywood. She's fat. There's nothing wrong with fat. It's hardly a moral shortcoming, but a zest for equality and diversity, and in this case, good acting just isn't enough to make a fat girl who wins the prince remotely plausible. In the cruel visual semantics of the screen, poor plump Penelope. That alliteration was too much, but okay. Poor plump Penelope may be set up to win a man, but will she win an audience? The jury, dear reader, is still out. No, it's not. We love her. She's queen, she's mother, she's icon. Please, thank you. And can I just say, I don't care if a man says you look good, nah. Who gives a fuck? If a lady says I look good, I go, yes, girl, thank you. So do you, nah. But if a gay man, listen carefully. If a gay man says you're an icon, thank you. Thank you. Like, literally, I am now Beyonce. Like, you cannot tell me anything. And they love her. Did you not hear the song? What's it? Shoes, caviar. Wait. Something, bags, caviar, shoes. Or was it shoes, caviar, bags, more shoes, more shoes? She's got a number. She's got a gay anthem out, girl. Best believe. Put some respect on her name. Oh, stop. Yo. Okay. Let's get to the end of this. Okay, so first, Strimple's description of Penelope as the friend reveals a need to sideline plus size people. So I don't think people realize that she was literally quoting first what this Shrimple Frimple Susan lady was saying, and now she's giving her opinion, right? So she's saying first, the description of Penelope as the friend reveals a need to sideline plus size people, even when they are the main character of their own love story. This is a form of fat phobia we've seen frequently in romantic comedies that cast larger bodied actresses as the asexual sidekicks of smaller bodied ones. This is so true. And then she goes on to say, second, it's important to notice that Colin's desire for Penelope isn't even addressed. So the fact that this man is so in love with her, right? He literally, I'm like, girl, we were there for the carriage scene. We were there for episode 5. We saw the press run. We saw the way even Luke was looking at Nicola. And I go, and you want to tell me she's not hot? You want to tell me it's impossible for someone like him to like someone like her? I go, baby, he's lucky. She's incredible. Anyway, but the fact that she doesn't even talk about that is true. And then she says that, like, the truth is, though, that Colin wants Penelope, right? He's not a prisoner in this romance, right? Yet it's not Colin's desire that's being pathologized. No. Wait. Yo, sis, what was that laugh? Wait, let me just gather myself together, not coffee, water. Water. Patholog. What did I say? Patholog. Path care. Yo, even the birds are laughing at me. Oh, okay. Slay. Let's phonetically.
Listen properly.
Pathologized. Close enough. Or chided at all. It's Penelope's body. Finally, what makes Pollen implausible to Shrimple Pimple is not merely that Colin is handsome, which seems to axiomatically and problematically include his thinness, but also that he's rich and an aristocrat. This speaks to the complex ways that fat phobia interacts with other characteristics like class. Actually, this writer knew what she was talking about, ne? Not this Forbes lady, the Shrimple Mumple Lumple lady. If she knew what she was talking about factually, people who were Penelope's shape back in the day were considered like top of the good looking chain, is all I'm saying. Check your facts. Even though most people, regardless of their body size, don't marry rich aristocrats, literally 1 out of like how many thousands of people. For a person with entrenched anti-fat attitudes, it's really important that a few do or thin people. People are entrenched weight bias. People with entrenched weight bias can possess a strong commitment to gatekeeping plus size people from access to things like love, and that is so true. Like once again, I go surround yourself with amazing people. If you don't want to, see people who are fat shaming people, then block them off Instagram. Like make sure you don't see the profile again. Go follow. There's so many plus size queens on Instagram. Like iconic. Like literally go follow any one of them. Like I will literally, there's so many and I follow literally, I don't even think all of them, but I will circle myself. I'll put one there and 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 there. Go follow, go follow, go follow. A deeply fat phobic person may deem that a plus size person's partner is an inappropriate match based on presumed differences in social status and believe that those social differences are more important than either partner's desire for one another. Though Shrimple has no problem calling Penelope fat, the plus size internet is divided over whether she is in fact a fat icon, as one Instagrammer put it. A post published by Los Angeles-based plus-size boutique, The Plus Bus, reads, "There's a new fat icon to watch, and we're living for her." Responses varied. Some enthusiastically agreed, others pointed out that Coughlin wears a size 10 in real life, and plus sizes traditionally begin at size 14. It's safe to say, I think that regardless of whether Coughlin is plus size or not, she is enough of a departure from the traditional love story lead actress that it's caused a stir. Okay, so traditionally, plus sizes begin at 14. I did not know that. But to me, if you're honestly, fat is such like plus size is such a subjective thing to a lot of people, because I've seen people who are like skinny who go, "Oh my god, I'm so like fat," and I go, "Well, according to me, no, you aren't." But okay, but I mean, in a traditional sense here, where they, go begin at size 14, I definitely agree where I says I think she causes enough of a stir and she departs from the, not, I don't want to say standard, but she departs from like the standard beauty standard way of like thin, tall, what, all of those things. Once again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but yeah, I think she causes enough of a stir, and Mama's got she's got a little bit of a belly, which I love, because and that scene happened in Bridgerton, and I saw someone with normal tits, man. Like shit was not perky, shit was normal. I was like, say less, And then also when you saw a little bit of a leg, and it wasn't like this tiny leg. Not that there's anything wrong with the previous actresses, but I was like, yo, let us live, Like, wow, it's truly like momentous, especially because it's like such a massive show like Bridgerton. Yeah. And then through Poland, Bridgerton brilliantly provides a mirror and an invitation to ask ourselves, have we moved so far from Regency era notions of social status and marriage? For some, this romance is unsettling because it forces them to consider that humans are simply not governed by tidy, predictable rules. If this romance upsets you, it says more about how deeply you've internalized fat phobia than it says about the bodies of the actors playing Penelope and Colin. And that's on God. Facts. For others, this romance is delightful because it flouts the rules of television that have consistently relegated larger-bodied women to pitiful object of scorn. For many of us who have lived in a larger body for a long time, this romance may not seem so unfamiliar, and that's a fact. Like I literally follow so many girls, but then I go into the comment section and people are hurt people. Like it's so sad. Like especially I'm thinking on top of my head, I follow this one plus size queen. I absolutely love her. She's such a vibe. It's not Alicia Carvel. I can't know the surname, but the name is Alicia, and her husband's name is Scott. and Scott is like built or whatever, and Alicia's, obviously she's plus size. But she's like, they are so happy. They've been going out since they were teens or whatever. And the way this man looks at her and the way she's just such a fucking ray of sunshine. Because whenever I go on my Instagram and I see her and she's busy, she's busy messing around or she's like wearing outfits. And you can see like the more popular she got on Instagram, like her outfit game increased, the confidence increased. She was wearing like swimming costumes and stuff. And luckily, I can see that the comments don't bother her because she knows her husband loves her, and he really does, right? But people are still, people are horrible. People are so, so, so horrible. That's why if anyone asked me if I would, choose between, say, for example, like, never have social media or something else, I would rather not have social media. Like, unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, social media can be a very nice tool to use, and I like seeing what's going on in people's lives. But man, people are nasty. People are very nasty. Just be nice to each other. Damn. Anyway, where was I? Yeah. Then the author. Ooh. Okay, whatever. If it's on my nose, it's on my nose. It is weird. Then the lady who wrote the article, she goes on to say, I just married a person who's smaller than I am. We went in a pink castle in California and I wore a poofy white princess dress. See, fairy tales do come true for fat women. And then there's a post later on from the Lovesick Plus where she shares a picture of her own love, and I can see her like her husband is thinner and she's like a bigger girly. Oh, but this dress is slaying the house down. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So, my thing on this article is I really think that people need to go read it properly because she quotes a lot, right? And she goes back and forth between saying the Strimple lady says this says this, that says that. So I think a lot of people, first of all, it looked as if a lot of people were bothered by this, mixed weight headline. I think the words mixed weight bothered people, but I was trying to think of another way to word it, but you really can't. I think people had a problem with it either way. Um, she obviously, they have to catch your attention, but I think this is one of the more, not subtle, but she definitely tried to euphemize it. Because if I go to the bottom of the article, and I go to this lady's picture, she's plus sized. Yeah, she's an author, activist, and one of the nation's leading experts and lecturers on weight-based discrimination and body image. There we go. She started the hashtag campaign, hashtag lose hate, not weight. And in 2018 gave a TED talk and all of those things. So I think people don't realize when she's quoting this Strimple lady and when, because basically what she's saying, she's plus size herself and she's clearly like, unfortunately in her article she's now mentioned all the negative things first on top, and then at the bottom she goes, no, but we live, and I'm also like a bigger lady. So I think people just read a little bit of stuff and people don't research enough also. So I mean, people are very quickly to jump on like a bus and to jump on something when they shouldn't. So I don't think the hate towards Forbes I don't think it's called for. Because I do think it's important to highlight, like the Susan Shrimp whatever lady. I think it's important to highlight, like, and I'm glad she used this lady's name because calling her out. So I don't think this Forbes deserves the hate that it's getting, to be very honest, because she's just quoting what people are saying, and then she at the end she gives her thing, and she's literally like an activist for weight bias and stuff like that. So I don't think she means anything bad by it. And mixed weight, I mean, it makes sense because mixed weight is not discriminating. It's not saying like fat female, thin man. It's going mixed weight. Like it can go anyway. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I guess it's anyway. What do you think? Let me know. I will leave the link for the article if it allows me to down here. And I've not even tried one snack, eh? Okay, snack break. Snack break. Let's take a snack break. Let's have a Zimbabwean chippy. Let's try these. Okay, so I will say these are called Jupiters. Very cute. By Willards. We know that brand. Willards. It says the out of this world flavored corn snack. Very cute. Very cute. It smells not tomatoey. It smells tomatoey, but that's the name. I was searching for the name and I said it wasn't Spookies. Ghost Pops. That's what it smells like. And it's in the shape of a spaceship. That is cute. That is nice. It definitely tastes like Ghost Pops, but not as like flavorful. So not lighter. So this would actually be something cute to maybe like get for your kids. It's giving, yeah, it's very colorful. It's very light. It's very light. It's giving very Ghost Pops, but not as thick and big and flavorful. Solid 7 out of 10. Let's go to a South African chip. She's one of my favorites. I always get a string of these before I travel as part of like my snacks, and then I cut it. But I like the barbecue flavor. So Willards, same like the previous one, but the icon looked different. Anyway, Willards big corn bites, and these are tomato flavored maize chips. I prefer the barbecue flavor, but yeah, let's go. Yes. Big corn bites will always be that girl. Another one. Once again, Willards. These are called Things with a Z, and the Z's go down, and they lead to this sleeping Mexican man in his sombrero. Very cute. It says the spicy siesta snack for desperados. Girl, someone call Rihanna and tell her we did a new album, because let's go. Oh, you know what it smells like? You know those Vin chips? Oh, yeah, those Vin chips, or those like lekker cheap chips that were like 50 cents. Oof, I don't know what it costs anymore. Or if those uncles are outside of your schools anymore that sell like the lollipops and the chips and the bompies after school. But it smells like that. Also, Zimbabwe and their chip shapes, man. Very cute, because look here. Circle. It's not spicy, but it's very cute. It's like it's giving chicken flavor. Chicken flavor. Oh, chicken flavored chips, you know? Like because it's very, like, it reminds me a bit of the Spookies, but also of the Vin chips, but also the cheap chips, like somewhere there. It's very light. They're very light in their like dustings of flavor. So yeah, also solid 7 out of 10. Let's try another South African chip. Okay, let's go here. Fritos. Fried toes. Fried toes. Fried. My thing is,
Listen properly.
free toes. No, it should be a V, and it feels Afrikaans. Fried toes, because it's Friday, as in fry. No? It's fry. Fritos. Now I'm confused. Let me know. Is it fritos or fritos in the comments, please? Okay, let's go. And this is sweet chili flavored. Once again, I do like the barbecue flavor of chips, just more in general. Like of these corn, the maize ones, I like the barbecue flavor. But, yes. Yeah. Yeah, we know how to spice a chip, young. Spice a chip. Solid 8 out of 10. Very nice. Okay, let's move on. So, today, I am recording this on the 8th of July. So I'm actually a little bit glad that the audio, butted in the previous one, because now I can speak about I'm not going to go in depth, but like we played a rugby game against Ireland on Saturday. No? And I was trying my hardest to focus in that concert, but I was watching the rugby the whole time. En my hartjie gaan net so, en ek hoor niks wat daar op on stage gaan nie, because I'm just watching, and I'm whoosh. Anyway, we won. Thank you. Hence the green. It's giving very, when we win, I'm in my gees, and it's the right green. It's not Irish green, it's South African Springbok green. But be that as it may, today, the day that I'm going to post this on, so today, it is the 18th of July, which is Nelson Mandela's birthday. So in South Africa, it's Nelson Mandela Day. Happy Nelson Mandela Day, everybody. I hope you are doing something wonderful for your 67 minutes. So yeah, for those who don't know, Nelson Mandela, like icon of like ending of the apartheid era in South Africa. He was the first black president in 1994, when the country for the first time voted as a democracy. So yeah, he was our first black president, first president voted out of democracy. He went to jail in Robben Island because he was an activist. He was someone who really went against apartheid laws. So if you don't know what apartheid is, it was the segregation of the races, like the white European-esque people were on one side, and then, blacks, coloreds, non-whites on the other side. So yeah, go read up on it. It's very interesting, and I really think it contributes to like our country's culture and our country's like being and essence as a whole. But yeah, for 67 minutes they encourage you to give of your time, do something for the community. So I know some people plant trees because it's winter in South Africa. A lot of people do like soup drives and blanket drives, and I know some people will even like knit like the squares and then put the squares together and give those to the people who can't afford, people who are getting cold during winter and don't have much. So yeah, let me know what you did or what you are going to do for your Nelson Mandela Day, for your 67 minutes below. Just in case I got a bit stuck today, I put topics, just ASMR, yes. Before I start with my questions, please subscribe, like, comment, share your thoughts, subscribe. Thank you. Please send all of your strength. This is difficult doing this alone, but you know what? I wanted to continue it, and it's fun, If I'm not talking to someone, I'm talking to all of you, so it's fun. Okay, let's go. Best travel country, Thailand. Thailand is the vibe. Thailand is everything all at once. Everyone minds their own business. The weather's nice. It's tropical country. Just be careful of monsoon season. That was quite scary. You could be in like not in a tsunami, but obviously if you're on the beach side of life. But if it rains, it rains, girl, it rains. Like it'll still be hot, but it rains with like dangerous almost rain. So we went in February, I think. February, March side. Nah, gorgeous. Definitely go there. Island is beautiful, like Phi Phi Island side, but also Bangkok, like the middle of the city, buzzing. Vibes. Make sure you go to Bangla Road. There we go, Bangla Road. And if you want to go to all the, the gay clubs, I think it's Silom. But it's like a specific, like, there's a district where just search for Stranger. Is it Stranger Bar? The Stranger Bar, Bangkok. That's where the drag queens are. Like that were even on Thailand Drag Race. Slay. I had the best time of my life. So just search for Stranger Bar and it's like all around there. Okay, next. Oh, honorable mentions. I really loved going to China. The food was cheap, everything worked. You just walked around with your phone. Public transport was out of this world. We went in winter, but I had the best time ever. There are people of color there. Search. just go look, make friends, go listen to the music. The jazz was so much fun. Yeah, I even went to a South African club, met a lot of people from mostly Joburg. But yeah, I saw a lot of people of color. So just go out and go look for people. Travel hacks. Not a travel hack per se, but do your research before you go somewhere because your bag doesn't have to be heavier than it needs to be. Especially if you want to like pack outfits, to go out, then be clever about things. Like, for example, if you go to Thailand, don't take snacks with because there will be a 7-Eleven or something around the corner. Best 7-Eleven ever. If you go to Thailand, the cheese sandwich, they make it right there in the press. And then, especially after night out, if you come back at 4 or 5 in the morning, girl, dumplings from me, ek kom water my mond in ek. Anyway, travel hacks. Make sure you are stocked up on medication. Not overly stocked, but enough. Like if you're traveling during winter, take your ACC with, girl, because some countries don't have ACC, and ACC is South Africa's gift to the world. Make sure you pack in an ACC, effervescent if you can take it, like the vitamin boosters. Girl, for the people that want to go out, and Dot, there we go. People that want to go drink, nah, buy rehydration sachets. Rehydrate, nah. But it depends also on where you go, because some places, like I know China and Korea, have like these hangover tonics, and Thailand will also have what's the water with the iron and the stuff in it. They will have that, but take rehydrate sachets with just to be safe. Yeah, I mean, take your own sunscreen with. Ladies, for example, please, ladies, if you are traveling and you are going to be on your cycle while you travel, right? If you get your period while you travel, if you're someone who uses very specific products, especially tampons, a lot of countries don't sell tampons, just pads. So make sure, I rather just take my sanitary products with, just to be safe. Because a lot of countries will have them, but they won't have what you always want. So if you want something specific, like if you use a specific oil for your whatever, like if you use it for your beard, men, or if you use a specific oil for your face or your hair or a serum, and you have like sensitive skin and you've only done that, then take it with you. But also don't take things in like massive quantities. Like, come now, depending on where you go. Sometimes you can buy things. Amazon works mostly everywhere. They've got their own, go to hotel reception and ask what are their apps and stuff like that. And translation apps, nah, we are living in the era of easy travel simply because the internet's made everything so easy. I don't even know if I were even travel hacks, but okay. If I think of more, so pack in snacks. Yeah, depending on where you're going. But I generally, even if I'm going to a place where I know what's happening, I still pack in a couple of snacks because, like places, you'd be surprised, Europe, some snacks are cheaper than in South Africa, for example. But just in case, like, you don't like what they're serving on the plane, or you want a snack on the specific thing, or you have a layover of like 14 hours at Dubai airport, where something is going to cost you like 200 Rand for, liquids you can't now take with you. Please also bear this in mind. You can't take liquids with you through the first like gates and passport control, right? But once you get to where you must wait, then you can buy liquids. So liquids, don't be dumb. And remember the 100 ml rule, liquid rule, please. But yeah, so instead of paying 500 Rand because you spend 250 on a bottle of Coke, yes, it can be that bad. 250 on a bottle of Coke and then 250 on, let's say, 3 packets of chips. Be clever if you're going somewhere, right? Or even if you're coming, you can plan your things. But if you're going to the place and you have a long layover, pack in some chips. Like, for example, I said I like to get that row of chips, and then I just cut them. I put 2 in my backpack I have with me, and then I put 3 in my big suitcase. Because also you might get to a place where at like 11 o'clock at night and you go, oh, but I'm feeling a little bit peckish or hungry, you can take a packet of chips and just eat it. So I like to get like a balance. So I get raisins and nuts. I get like dried fruits, and then I get like a chocolate slabs because it's flat. And most of the time there's like 3 for 2 at like Pick and Pay or something. So I do that, and I do the chips, and then I do. Oh, I've learned now. Nobody can make biltong. Okay, jerky is not the same thing. It's not. It's not. Nobody can do biltong like South Africa does biltong, and South Africans love meat. We love meat. We love the biltong, right? The first thing I always want when I get home is a steak. So I now also go, and you go to the biltong place, see if they can vacuum seal it for you. Don't now be dumb and put all of it in your backpack. Because remember, there's also certain rules and things at the airport where like sometimes it looks as if you're carrying it over to another country to sell it. So just always keep that in mind. Like, be smart. Put majority. So I take my snacks and I divide it like let's say I put 85% of it in my big suitcase and 15% of it in my backpack, so that I have stuff to eat on hand, but also when I get to the hotel there's more snacks. So most of the time, like, I don't sometimes I come back with snacks even from places, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Especially because of what we had to do and whatever, and you don't always have to go to a shop, and depending on where you're going and stuff like that. Anyway, let me not dally on that for too long. Next. Ooh, stick together. Best food while traveling. Immediately, laksa in Singapore was the best thing I had. And then Japanese food in Singapore was incredible. All the food in China was phenomenal. Thailand had, I would say, one of the places with the best takeaway food was Thailand. Thailand's McDonald's, right? Not the same as South Africa McDonald's. If you go to Thailand, order a spicy chicken burger. Nah, nah. I dream about it. Dream about it. And then yeah, just the food in 7-Eleven in Thailand, pop. Absolute win for the nation. So yeah, even India was wonderful. I did get food poisoning. That's another thing though. Please, if you travel, add anti-diarrheal tablets to your list, and any stomach things. Just add all of the things. Be safe, rather safe than sorry. Okay, let's have another snack. Oh, okay, yes. I remember this one. I love this one. It's called Chompkins, and it's absolutely cute. That looks like a baseball mascot. I don't know baseball. Do we do baseball in South Africa? I know we play cricket. I think baseball exists in South Africa. Listen, she's in a rugby era right now. Don't ask her anything else. Chompkins, potato chips, cheese, and onion. Okay. It's giving Lay's. Oh. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, wow. Wow, that's nice. I could eat that the whole day. That's like a 9.5 out of 10. Because, like, if I eat too much of it, also, you get tired of it. But it's very, very nice. And it's lovingly made in Zimbabwe. That is very cute. 9.5 out of 10. A massive slay. Massive, massive slay. Okay, I think I've run out of chips for South Africa. But okay, I'm gonna preface this, my fellow South Africans, by saying it's not biltong because I ate all the biltong already, but it's biltonged bacon. So it's bacon that has been biltongized, dried, and clearly spiced, and it's chili flavored because, let me just not make noise. It's chili flavored because my favorite biltong is a chili stick, or okay, now I'm gonna tell you a secret now, no? Not a lot of people know this place, but there's one place, and I've now tried this type of biltong from a lot of other places, né? In Cape Town side, whatever, but no one comes close to this place. Because we don't gatekeep in this house, So I'm gonna go share a secret with you. There's a lady in Strand Sanctuary Mall, ne? Next to Pick and Pay. It's a biltong place. This is the only place where they can make it like this. She's got biltong that's in like a chili oil, honey, spice mixture. When I tell you, we literally fight for the last piece of biltong. That you can buy 200 rand worth of biltong, and biltong is not gonna make it out of the parking garage. I'm telling you, I don't play about food. Nah. There we go. Now you know. Don't say I didn't tell you. Anyway, let's go. Yo, my tanden. Mm. Mm. Oh, oh, that is nice. That's gorgeous. 10 out of 10 for that. Actually, no, because you get better biltong than that. So I would give Miss Bacon Biltong like a 8.5. 8.5. Nothing beats like, the beef. Nothing beats like the meat biltong. But yeah. Lekker. Lekker, lekker. Okay. Next. Okay. Okay, what are you watching? What am I watching? So, Miss Londiwe, let's have a chat quickly because this is her fault. I've started watching those short Instagram reel things, and then I would literally play with my life because I need to be somewhere at 12. But I'm sitting and I'm going, it's only 5 minutes, it's fine. Let me watch one more, let me watch one more. And then I'm this close to being late. Nah, because I'm sitting there and I'm watching. And then I go on YouTube and I try and search for the full thing. I'm at the point where I've now gone into the Chinese drama side of life. So now I'm sat there watching 4 hours long things because they post their full episodes. I'm obsessed actually. Like my YouTube algorithm is very confused right now because either rugby or it's some like weird title of a name. Because in the titles of the shows is like married my ex's uncle to get revenge, or 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 knocked up by my ex's brother, or yo, these titles are long also, man. Then I go, yes, this is why I'm gonna type in this whole thing in my YouTube. Then it says spent one night with the CEO, which led to surprise pregnancy, and then she came back years later, and I go, surely we could have spark notes that title. But I still go watch, and I still go search for it. So it is what it is, man. So that's what I'm watching right now. Ooh, okay. So rugby. Listen, this is gonna seem very old when I speak about it, right? But the date that it is now, it's relevant now, and I'm gonna speak about it. So by the time this episode comes out, we would have played against Ireland, our second game in Durban, and I'm even wearing your colors, Bokke. I'm hoping that this ages well and that we win. Because I think but yes, man, they were really on fire, ne? For that first game at Loftus. I was watching and I just knew from the get-go, when you feel the energy, ne? You go, this is one where even if they lose, ne, which they didn't, this is one where even if they lose, like I can see they're playing with like, yo, man, it was incredible. The attacks were so scary. If I were Ireland, I would have pissed my pants because the way these people were running at me. I mean, that knock that Sia did, nah, like I'm gonna put it in here. I'm gonna put that video in here because it was that man woke up in a different universe. That man was this, my bro. When I tell you, I watched the shorts and I watched the slow motions, nah, and the reels. Your shame, eh? That man was on the floor. But then he was holding his head, man. And I was like, okay, he knocked you hard, but he didn't knock you in your head. So it was giving like soccer for a second, where if you just touch the people, then you must, and they woo, drama queens. Because you know, most girl, the Springboks, they will bleed, but they'll be like, I'm still gonna play on. Anyway, Shamil, the ref literally had to tell him to just sit down and to like lay on the floor just so they cannot ever. But see, I walked already because I was like, girl, we know he didn't, his shoulder didn't come into contact with your head. And when they did the TMO, ne, you could see his shoulder hit like and was high on his chest and upper area. So I was like, there's no foul for that. But anyway, it was an excellent game. My heart was racing. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, on the topic of what I'm watching and rugby together. So South Africa has arguably, I think it's the best rugby documentary I've ever seen because I watched the short little All Blacks one on YouTube as well, and it was okay. But it was very like not light-hearted. It was lighter, and they go, yes, we play for our people and whatever. But like your man, Chasing the Sun one was incredible, and then yesterday I watched Chasing the Sun 2 episode 1, and I was even making notes, girl, because I was like, we are gonna talk about this because one thing we did right was Chasing the Sun. Like that documentary, like even though I know the outcome of the World Cup, like my heart still beats, and you sitting there crying because of the stories of some of these players, and it's absolutely incredible. So, like tying in also with Nelson Mandela Day and the rugby and the Chasing the Sun and all of those things is that rugby is very important to our country for like a lot of reasons. But I think because the one thing you always think of when you think of South African rugby, you think of we didn't play in the World Cup pre 1994 because the World Cup, like what do you call them, the board or the whatever, they did not agree with the apartheid laws. So I think 1995 might be the first time we ever played in a World Cup. I don't know. I'll Google it and confirm if I'm right or not. But there's always the first image that comes to my mind, at least. Like I wasn't even born yet, right? But that image is shown everywhere. Even in Chasing the Sun 2 and Chasing the Sun 1, you will see that image of the captain in 1995 when we won was Francois Pienaar, and Nelson Mandela was the president and he was there. The image you see is the two of them holding like the World Cup. They raised the cup together, and that was very like important for our country because we had just had this apartheid era which had lasted for so long, and there was so much going on in our country. And 1994 was the first year where the democracy was there and we had our first black president, and things were changing in our country. And the fact that this black man and this Nelson Mandela and this white man, our captain, could stand side by side, with like this World Cup in their hands is absolutely incredible. So I think that that's the reason why I also think rugby is such a big thing for us and such an important thing for us, because not that it represents like the I don't want to say the end of apartheid, so I'd rather say the beginning of like a new era. Not that it represents that, but it forms a massive part of that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was just, and even watching Chasing the Sun, like you hear their stories, and I think rugby is more popular, I would say, in our country than cricket because of the difference of who can play rugby also. So, for example, I think was it Trevor Nakanya, or was it Ox? No, I think it was Trevor who says in episode 1, he goes, even the fatter person like me can play rugby. Whereas in cricket, not that all of them are like skinny, but most of them have a more like skinny build because that's the what you need to be for the game. Because it's all about the batting and the bowling and all of those things. But in rugby, like for example, I would say if you watch the national anthem, right, you would literally, I go, pick a race, pick a height, pick a size because we've got everything, right? And I think that's like the beauty of it for us is that every single person, regardless of age, race, weight, height, class, can be where those men are, and some of them are there because most of the times it's the people that came from nothing, that went through like the struggle, that because for a lot of South Africans, you can hear even the players and they get so emotional about it actually when they speak, is that literally like they were like rugby literally saved a lot of them, and rugby is who they are. Like Dwayne's sister, he speaks and she goes in Afrikaans, but she goes, rugby is Dwayne and Dwayne is rugby, So they literally like it's part of who they are as people. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna go through a couple. I made a lot of notes here. Um, but yeah, like the other thing also, like I just wanna like point out is in South Africa, swearing is a it's gonna sound weird and it's not an excuse, but swearing is a means of expression more than um more than like you know using the Lord's name in vain. Not that actually, but I would say it's used more of like a means of expression because in the documentary, well, yeah, all time they go, yeah, and especially Rassi, and you must go, yeah, you must, jy moet hulle fucking moer, mannie, of julle moet hulle fucking not to fucking links, left, right, and center, but it's not meant like as an offensive thing. It's literally like it's used to like color our language in, man, and it's very funny. But I love it. But everyone gets pressed by it except us. So yeah, and then like another thing is that they also mentioned, so the first episode focuses very much on the South Africa versus Ireland, no, South Africa versus Scotland game, because that was our first pool game and we were in the death pool. We were in the pool with Scotland, Ireland, um, Wales. No, but we were in the death pool. We weren't in a pool with New Zealand, but we were in like, we were in a difficult pool. Because every game basically felt like, like a final. So yeah, they show us how they lead up to the Scotland thing and whatever, and they mentioned like a lot of things. And I know episode 2 goes into like Malcolm Marx getting hurt and Pollard having to come in and all of those things. But yeah, it's amazing because I put here, for example, Mapimpi was talking about how literally in 2019 his goal was just to own a house, and in 2023 he was selected to play for the Rugby World Cup. What an icon! He had to leave in the middle because of injuries, but he's absolutely amazing. Like he played now for the game against Ireland as well. And then, honestly, one of my notes just say Rassi equals icon. She is. Also, I call everyone she. Relax. Relax, okay. But yeah, Rossi. Rassi is an icon. And so I must put this video in here because I was laughing. This is so funny. This is so funny. Oh, that is so funny. Everything is just funnier in Afrikaans and in Xhosa because, yeah, it's so funny. Some things just don't translate in English. There's this one rugby podcast that I subscribe to. I think it's called Egg Chasers or something. So we must go, hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie, né? Hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie, and all of those things. He wrote it in English on his thumbnail, and it goes, "They don't know what we know," and I go, ooh, okay, okay. But he also had this episode where he did like a pre-thing at Loftus now. Everyone was like, yeah, and these people were drinking beer and brandy and coke from like 10 in the morning, man. And this uncle was like heavy Afrikaans uncle. He was like, yeah, no, we've been drinking since 10 o'clock. And he goes, the the guy who's doing the podcast goes, "Are you not gonna crash later and whatever?" And then he goes, "Clearly you don't know South Africa." And I go, "Girl, tell him, because South Africa is a vibe. It's not a place, it's a feeling, my bro." Yo, Brandy and Coke. I was like, these people are really like South Africans are on a different level, my bro. Yo, anyway, but Rassi kept impressing me in Chasing the Sun, because he listens to his team and his players, like in the end, people always say yes, it's him that gets to make the final decision, and sure, but he really listens to what everyone has to say. And then I made a little note here, né? Because after this game against Ireland, obviously people were touched, and they were like, "Yeah, no, the referee kept doing this and this and this." And I go, "Please watch Whistleblowers." Because whenever I get a little bit upset at like the ref or whatever, I think back to that documentary and I go, "But you can't, you know? It's they're doing the best they can with what they see, with what they've got." And the TMO is there, and they say the TMO is there to make the game safer, and they go through such rigorous training, and the ref is always the scapegoat, and that's the sad truth about it. Like, rugby fans are intense, intense. Because even me, I went down that rabbit hole for a bit, where someone like posted something, and I went, "Yeah, but you're just saying this because you said you didn't win the World Cup or whatever." Um, like, meanwhile, but you hear something else from someone else's perspective, and you go, "Yo, okay, like I should have thought about that for a bit or whatever." But yeah, please go watch Whistleblowers. It's on Rugby Pass. If you you can make like a free account, and you can watch Whistleblowers, and you can watch Chasing the Sun first season on there as well. As long as like some of the live games and the under 20s things that are happening now, I'm not even gonna talk about that. But yeah, the media and the rugby fans are absolutely ruthless. Yo, man, it's hectic. Like, I will sit here the whole day if I have to talk about rugby, and and all of those things, and all the notes that I made and whatever. Um, but yeah, no, Rassi is an absolute icon. He reminds them of who they are actually and where they come from. Like in the documentary, also he says, "Don't you're not the rugby star, this and this. You are this boy who comes from this small town where he had nothing, and you are playing for those people." And he always reminds them, like, you're playing for your country. And even Sia said, like, in 2019, he was like, they played for themselves to redeem themselves. But 2023, you can feel they played for their country, and that's absolutely incredible. And I think the Springboks did an amazing job, considering their fans were always going to be in the minority because it wasn't at home. Because I mean, the rand is one of the weaker currencies, and I mean, to be honest, like, most of our people, me included, you can't afford to just up and go to France, for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks to support your team. You know what I'm saying? It's expensive. So they did well, especially with those Irish fans singing Zombie when we changed it into Rassi. Thank you. One thing we will do though is turn that shit around and make it ours. Not me going, not important, but side note, Angus Gardner can get it in capital letters. Yeah, because I mean, I was looking at this man during the things, but then I watched Whistleblowers and I was like, oh, or no, he's got a wife, but okay. Yeah, and then I was like, the team after a Rassi halftime chat is Chef's Kiss. It's kind of funny because he's in there because they show you and he's busy telling them, because this is the game where Mani also missed all of the kicks. But he won man of the match. And they asked, like, Jacques and Sia afterwards, they asked Jacques, he was like, "Yeah, no, Mani missing all the kicks and whatever." And he goes, "That doesn't bother me as long as he got player of the match, so it doesn't bother me. What are you trying to do? Don't turn us against each other because you can't. Don't try and make me say shit." One thing about the Springboks, they will have each other's backs. And yes, man, Rasi is cock funny because he's like, even if you knock on, just fucking go for it. Just bloody do. And one thing I love about Rasi also is he goes, "Yeah, man, money, get them. And Ox, he calls them by their name. So then I feel like immediately, because if someone calls you by your name, you suma focused, like, I'm suma there now. But yeah, it's so funny. And yeah, this deserves a mention, is the Beethoven 9, man. While Mani did the no look kick. Kak funny. I just heard beep beep bam bam bam. I was like, Symphony number 9. Anyway, massive slay. He won player of the match against Scotland against that after. Yeah. So yes, no. I did want to talk about the North versus South teams, but that'll have to wait for another guest who also watches rugby with me. But whilst we are on the thing of rugby, just a quick little the games that we have. You can find us on supersport.com, but your girl will keep you updated. So the next game is Saturday, 20th of July, Springboks against Portugal at 5 o'clock. And then Saturday, 10th of August, is Australia versus the Springboks. 17th of August, Australia, Springboks. 31st of August, Springboks and New Zealand. 7th of September, that's going to be at DHL because I filled in that entry form to be qualified for tickets, but didn't get it. So, I cry into my pillow every single night because of that. Single Beyonce tear. Saturday, 7th of September, Springboks and New Zealand. And then 21st September, 28th September, Argentina, Springboks. And then 10th of November, Scotland and Springboks. I'm very interested in that one. Both of the New Zealand games and the Australia games. Because Australia nogal did a bietjie kakkerig in the World Cup. And there was the whole drama with the coach and all of those things. So that's going to be a bietjie, that's going to be a bietjie toughies there. But yeah, done. That's rugby. We have 2 more and then we are out of here. I think before my coffee gets cold, this was Londy's favorite, by the way. She told me these are mini chocolate coated biscuits. Cute. They smell hectic. They smell like it smells like I'm gonna feel it in my eyes. That is very hectic. I don't know how she eats the whole packet of that. That is insanely intense for no reason. Not for no reason. It's cute, but I would eat one of it, like sticky for sticky. That is very sweet. I would give that like a 6 out of 10. Because personally, so I bought my own biscuits. These are biscuits from Crazy Daisy with a Z. Very nice. Also, are you South African? If you don't close your stuff with a penalty, man, then you must know. Anyway, but these type of biscuits are my favorite. Like, I don't like if the whole biscuit is chocolate, but I like a base biscuit with these are, I think those are pecans. Anyway, nuts and chocolate chips in the biscuit. So, it's already a 10 out of 10. I mean, I tried obviously of it already and I love it. So this. Waar is my wasgoedpennetje? Here we go. Oh, yes. Love a good biscuit. Yeah, we've got some honourable mentions that I won't open. But like this, for example, I didn't buy the big bag. They just came in the big bag and I can only find them on Takealot. These apricot sweets. So these apricot sweets are apricot based with like sugar on them. And then these are my favorite sweets. Well, yeah, top. They are up there. Gesiggies. So gesiggies is Afrikaans word for faces. It's called funny faces because they've got like all these weird face things on them. But they come in different colors. My favorite one is the yellow, which I think I might have finished. Yes, actually. No. Wait. There's one more. There's one more yellow one. The yellow one is my favorite. But this is like pure sugar. Pure sugar. So I would eat them one at a time at a very slow pace. So listen, I've had these I've had these packets for like 3-4 weeks now, so I'm really taking it slow because it's just sugar. But yeah, also be careful of your teeth. But that is good. That is nice. Mm, okay, I think I'm done trying out snacks for now. So the only snack you're gonna see is sitting in front of you. Oh, also, if you want to know where my cute bottle comes from, bacon bikinis. But yes, so out of all the snacks, I think my favorite thing are these chips. These chips from Zimbabwe are my favorite. These and then the biscuits from South Africa. So those were the highest ranked ones and my faves. So let me know what your favorite snack is in the comments, and I might go and try it on the next episode. Who knows? 2 more and then we are done. Favorite podcasts. All I'm gonna say is Voo. I said this to one of the girlies now the other day, and they were like, "I know what podcast you watching." So this is I'm referring to the Drag Cartel. They've got a podcast called Straight to the Point, and it's hilarious. It's three colored queens, Maxine, Chanel, and Imogen, and they chat about various topics. I don't want to ruin it too much, but they talk about like the drag scene, the ballroom scene. They talk about like the meaning of like if you're a mother, what a mother is. They talk about they use a lot of gay lingo. Because you will hear, one of the girlies a bietjie praat, né? When the guys talk, when the girls speak to each other, jy win het name, girl, jy win het name, and you go, what are you saying? Go watch, and then you will know. And then another podcast I listen to, also two colored presenters, Gen C podcast. Very random fact, but one of the one of the hosts of that podcast was actually my extra physics tutor. That's all I'm gonna say. But they've got like liquor guests on also every week. So sometimes they have like a teacher, the most recent one that came on, and I could relate to that one so much. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they've got different people from all walks of life coming on as well as guests. Very nice podcast. Check that one out. And then the third one, so those are both South African podcasts. I'll go outside of South Africa and go Shits and Gigs, definitely. Top of the list for me. It's always playing in the background. They are just so funny. So funny. And I think UK humor and South African humor is very similar. So I find it hilarious. Like, I can't watch a lot of American podcasts anymore. Like, first of all, the accent really gets to me. Like the vocal fry, yeah, really gets to me. Like, I can't. Yeah, what else is there? What other podcasts? If you want to watch rugby podcast, Big Jim is quite good. Egg Chasers is there also. Yeah, I'll keep suggesting podcasts as I go along and ask guests also. Last one. What are you reading? The library is open. What am I reading? What am I reading? Right, I think there's actually a question missing. But anyway, I'm reading. We have a book for July. So every month in the podcast, we have a book. The book for July is by Matthew Hussey. It's called Love Life. And I will admit I did start reading it on the plane. But sometimes when I come home, I just want to read some fantasy. I just want to read some smut, which I do. So I'm at at this point in time, I am currently reading still by S.J. Tilly. I'm like slowly making my way through all of her books because she can write a spicy scene, girl. She can write a scene where I stop and I have to go, ooh, okay. But yeah, so I'm making my way through her books. I am reading the last book in the Sleet series right now, Sleet Princess. So it focuses on the ice hockey thing, 'cause she's obviously American, because ice hockey is not a thing here. Because, girl, we had hail, but it doesn't snow here. Like enough for us to. Ons kan maar ice skate daar by Grand West, but we can't ice skate outside when it doesn't snow like that here. It doesn't ice like that here. Maybe up there in die berge, daai kant toe uit, seere se kant toe uit, maar not everywhere. But yeah, so ice hockey, I don't know if it's a massive thing in South Africa. It could be a thing because it probably is a thing because we've got hockey and we've got ice rinks. So I have a feeling it's maybe a thing, but yeah, it's not like a massive, massive thing, like we have like teams that are participating in so and so. Unless I don't know anything. Like, honestly, if you have a sport that you think I should watch and have a look at, please let me know in the comments. But also, please let me know, the Boca people, who is your favorite player? What was your favorite moment from any of the recent matches? So let's go either the South African and Ireland match or the both and the Scotland one. So let's go up until those three. Let me know who's your favorite player and what you think. And then, what was I even talking about? What did it ask me? What am I reading? Yes. So, so I am reading the Sleet series by S.J. Tilly right now. But I promise you, at some point, I'm going to force myself to finish reading Love Life. It's very nice. Shame, but as someone who's had a lot of time to sit with herself, like a lot of the stuff in the book, but he uses very nice like analogies to sort of go in depth, and he basically just speaks to your soul a little bit, so that's very, very nice. But yeah, sometimes you just want to read some mindless things. So RIP to the people who don't read smutty romancy books, because that's probably what's going to be the suggestion for the foreseeable future. But also, please book suggestions in the description box. And before I finish this episode, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to subscribe. I'm going to wait. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. Have you subscribed? No? Let's press the button together. 1, 2. Drag your finger off your mouse over the subscribe button quickly. Press. Okay. Well done. Your good deed for the day. But yes, that is the end of this episode. Thank you for sitting with me, for listening to me, hopefully, until the end. If you want any specific person to come on the channel, if you want me to speak about anything specific, whatever thoughts you had on today's episode, please let me know in the comments. And if you don't want your comment to be public, then please pop me a message on my Instagram. And yeah, I might have started off a little bit rocky, but we got there in the end. So thank you for sitting with me. And that's the end of the episode.